what's poppin' everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be talking about a deck that I've played at the past two regionals, and I've seen day two at both of those. It's Charizard EX with Arven. Now, this deck did win the Curitiba Regional Championships right before we had Peoria. That being said, Peoria, I played this deck, saw some success, made top 64, and I also played it at Sacramento this past weekend and made top 128. I've made some adjustments towards the metagame, so as we approach the Lille Regional Championships and Toronto Regional Championships, I feel like Charizard might be even a better position than it has been before, and the list is arguably perfect from all the extensive research and testing that I put into it. So that being said, stay tuned for the list, some gameplay, the strategy, and more. If you like this video, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, check out all of our card sponsors in the description below. So whether you're trying to buy some cards, some sealed, some Pokemon codes, hit up all of our sponsors in the description. That being said, let's jump into this deck list. So this is my most updated Zard list. I did not play this at Peoria, I did not play this at Sacramento, but if I was going to Lille or if I was playing this deck towards Toronto, this is a list that I'd be playing and or testing. Some big changes here from other lists that I've played, but let's go over the strategy for this deck. Our goal for Charizard in general is going to be evolving into Charizard EX, accelerating energies to our Charizard EX, sometimes Pidgeots, and then attacking with those Pokemon. In this case, we're also going to be using Pidgeot EX in order to quick search whatever we want out. So a lot of the times you can kind of daisy chain a Rare Candy into Pidgeot to search out another Charizard if you have another Rare Candy, or search out another Rare Candy if you have a Charizard, Rare Candy, so every single turn we get an extra bonus card that we want from quick search. A lot of people ask questions about Pidgeot V. It's literally only there to force Seal Stone 2 and then put that Pokemon away into our deck. That being said, we're going to be using Battle VIP Pass, Nest Ball, whatever way we can get Pidgeot V into play in order to beam on a 4 Steel Stone that we can grab from Arven, search for whatever we want, put it away into the deck, offering our opponent up less prize cards, really forcing them to knock out Charizards. Radiant Tsareena over Radiant Charizard, because we'd rather have a better Lost Unbox matchup than a Chen Pao and a Miraidon matchup. Charizard, Radiant Charizard, that is, has been less successful as we've kind of gone forward in our Pokemon 151 metagame than it was around Peoria Regionals. Everything else is pretty standard about this deck. We do play a copy of Path, so we can kind of late game path our opponent and maybe even play an Iono after we've used all the abilities we want to use. We also have Collapsed to discard some 2 prize card Pokemon we have in play. We have ways to get back our cards with Super Rod, so don't be afraid to retreat a Charizard that took 250 damage, send it to the discard pile, and then build up another Charmander from scratch. Pretty standard list that my group and I have really kind of come together from the regionals winning list in Curitiba. But this is where we're at. Again, I think the deck is pretty powerful. Not necessarily the best deck, but has favorable matchups against Lugia and Miraidon, and also holds its own against a decent portion of the meta game, especially with the Radiant Tsareena. So if you're really looking for a deck, like this deck to me seems like a pretty safe bet if you're looking to get some points, maybe make day 2, maybe make, like, you could make top 8 with this deck. I just think that it's not necessarily there with the way that the metagame shaping up. Except for Lille, I think that this deck really could top 8 Lille the way that the metagame shaping up for that. So if you are heading to France for the regionals, this would be my top pick if I was heading there. Currently for Toronto, it's unknown at the time of creating. But overall, this is a great deck. List is available in the description, so you can copy and paste that right into PTCG Live. Let's jump into some gameplay and see how this deck works. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and call the coin flip. We typically want to go first with this deck for what it's worth. Our opponent did win the coin flip. We're fine going second when it comes down to it. A lot of people have been like, yo, Zach, you've been kind of short on the gameplay. I really just want to show some gameplay that shows how this deck works. So if we show how the deck works or how the deck doesn't work, I just want a game where I feel kind of live. I don't care if I win or lose. This hand feels great, kind of looking at it on face value. We start with the Mew. The list also is not the same bling list. I have lists for both, so it's the exact same list, but in terms of your copy and pasting it, I do have the standard version in the description in case anyone's worrying about that. But yeah, we're going to start with the Mew, and of course we'll take the extra card. Our hand here is fantastic. Let's see what we're playing against. We're playing against a Lost Zone box deck. Tina would be really bad. Turbo and Kyogre are also fine. So let's see what they're grabbing from the deck. Usually we'll figure it out pretty quickly. So far we can't tell when it comes to playing this Lost in Box deck, so we'll have to see exactly how it plays out. But yeah, this seems fine. The fact that they have Grass Energy in there is probably going to be tough for us, but you know what? Let's play against our tough matchup. Maybe today is going to be one where we get double gameplay out. Either that or it's going to be a good game that we're playing. They are putting a lot of energy in their Lost Zone, and the Grass and the Psychic is either telling us that they're playing a Turbo Lost Zone box deck with a Grass type attacker, or they're playing a Tina deck. So try to grab as much information from your opponent. The fact that they're also playing Switch is like mildly confusing if they are playing Lost Zone, just a regular Lost Zone box deck. To me, this definitely tells me that they're playing Tina. I have been wrong with that because some people have been playing some crazy lists, but the double grass, I mean, again, I'm really leaning towards Tina. It's tough because they can automatically OHKO our Charizard at 330 damage. Let's really try to push our best into this matchup. And I think we can. So regardless how everything plays out, we don't want to play this down. We want to go Nest Ball first so we can thin our deck of a Pokemon so we have a higher chance of hitting a Battle VIP Pass off Mysterious Tail. So that would be the correct answer for us to play first. Now, since they could knock out our Charmander, we probably do want to grab another Charmander. In this case, I'd rather save Blazing Destruction for the late game and have access to Ember earlier. We play Ember for the Gardevoir matchup. So a lot of people are asking that. It's so that we can knock out a Gardevoir from Chilling Reign after it's taken some damage. Sometimes it's okay in other matchups too, but reasonably, we're playing it for this one. If we don't get what we want off of our Mew with Battle VIP Pass, then we're very much going to grab it with Arven. So let's try ripping the Mew, Mysterious Tail. And what do you know? We grab Battle VIP Pass, so we up in here. Another thing to note is they might play one Iono. They probably don't. They probably play double Roxanne, so we can search whatever we want with Arven and be prepared for that. So let's go for Battle VIP Pass. We already have double Charmander. I want to grab a Pidgey. And I want to grab a Pidgeot V. We could play this out a little bit risky and not grab out a Manaphy. We don't know if our opponent plays enough water energies to make it happen. They do have 3 in their Lost Zone, so they'd have to get... I don't think they're going to get it. I think they'd have to like go through a bunch of switching cards. I don't think they're getting a Radiant Greninja this turn. So as long as we survive this turn, I feel pretty good. Let's go for Arven. Let's go for a... I want to go for a Forest Steel Stone here. It's our only option anyways. And I think what I want to do is go for a Rare Candy. Rare Candy really allows us to kind of thrive here. And we're going to pass our turn after putting on a Forest Steel Stone. Reason why I want to put Forest Steel Stone down is just in case our opponent does play Iono. And that does get us the card there. And we grabbed another Forest Steel Stone because we could always pitch it away with whatever we need. The Forest Steel Stone can get us out of Path if our opponent plays Path, so I'm just going to pass here without attaching for my turn. I'm not particularly worried about what could happen on our board. I want to have more cards in our hand than not, because we do have Ultra Ball, and we might have the Lost Vacuum. So there's some things that we could worry about. Now, our opponent could Escape Rope. At that point, we just send up our Charmander that we don't care about for the matchup. In this case, we'd be sending up this one, because we could use Blazing Destruction to get out of a Path later on. But right now, again, like we got to watch out for the Tina. It is going to be quite tough for us to deal with the Tina, especially with our Choice Belt being prized. If our opponent goes attack with Tina, attack into V-Star, so let's say they get a knockout with Cramorant, they get a knockout with their Star Requiem V-Star, that's really where it's going to be tough. Let's go ahead and we could send up the Pidgeot here, which would be kind of funny. Because they would not be able to get the knockouts. And they're at 3, 5, 6 in their Lost Zone. They could potentially get it, so I'm going to send out the Charmander and just lose it because of Cramorant. However, the Pidgeot can be used as a buffer and then Vanishing Wings back into the deck. As long as they don't play Path here, I'm feeling kind of okay with this. We also might be able to go Rare Candy into the Tina V-Star and attack into Tina V-Star, which would really be quite good. They'd probably Star Requiem us, but that's fine. Let's just double check. Yeah, they're at 6 in the Lost Zone, so I feel okay there. So in this case, we don't need to get out of Path. We can go Forest Steel Stone goes here. And before we do anything, let's just go ahead and go for... since we're grabbing a Pidgeot, it's better for us to use Star Alchemy, so let's use Star Alchemy goes here, search our deck for Pidgeots. And there's Pidgeots. And then we're going to go Rare Candy into Pidgeots. And then that can search us for a Rare Candy into Charizard. So if we get one of the pieces, we might actually be able to get there a little bit easier. Let's go Mysterious Tail and see if we're able to get there. We did get the other Rare Candy, so that is going to allow us to kind of get everything we want into play, because now we could search for a boss and attack into this Tina right away, which is nice. They could knock us out, which is like somewhat of a like minor thing to think about, because we only have the one Charizard. Now I don't know what their chances are of getting Jet Energy, Switch, everything, so that it's one of those reasons where we just have to be very careful. This matchup's pretty bad for what it's worth, so I am going to go quick search, and I am going to plug into that Pokemon. So let's go for a boss here, and let's go ahead and go Ultra Ball, discarding a Forest Steel Stone and a Fire Energy. Let's grab that Zard, and we'll make sure that our Zard is set up here. So let's go Rare Candy into Zard. Gotta also count your energies when it comes to doing this deck. That's something that I could have done a little bit better, but we do have access to pretty much all of our energies. So let's go Fire, Fire. We're gonna put a Fire here. I'm gonna attach a Fire Energy to my Pidgeot. I'm not gonna put Pidgeot. I am gonna put Pidgeot V back into the deck, by the way, so we could go Vanishing Wings. Putting this away so that our opponent just can't knock it out. We are gonna go boss up their Tina, retreat the Mew, and attack with Charizard turn 2. Again, this is risky because they could potentially get Colress, Jet Energy on their Comfey, retreat, switch cart, whatever, and get 4 in the Lost Zone and knock us out. The fact that they use Escape Rope is probably good for us, because now we could go Boss's Orders, Pidgeot, knock out the Tina. So the fact that they only got 1 out Tina in this matchup and they went for triple Comfey is a mistake on their behalf. We also might suffer things due to Path to the Peak. We could suffer a lot of random things when it comes down to this matchup, and you can see that our opponent is like getting up to a lot, but the fact that they had to use Escape Rope after using their switches, our call was probably correct, and this Tina, when it comes up into the active spots, is going to get knocked out by either Charizard or by Pidgeot. Pidgeot is a valid attacker that can also get rid of Path, so think about that when it comes to playing through this matchup. Like it's real, it could happen. Our opponent's also going through a decent bit of energies, having 3 in their Lost Zone and 2 in their discard pile. They are playing Beach Court, which is sick for us. Maybe they're just gonna... Maybe that's gonna allow us... Well, I mean, we're not under Path, so we can just go boss up their Tina if they don't attack with Tina this turn. Which means that they just don't have answers to Tina, and our Zard is gonna run rampant this game. I'm also fine if our Pidgeot just gets knocked out and we run with Zard, because I don't want us to lose Zard. So if they just go 280, that's fine. Draw your prize cards. It will be fine. It's going to suck a little bit, but it's going to be fine. They also have to waste another energy, some more energies, putting 5 into our Lost Zone. So even though that, like, this game, like, we're taken off, they've drawn 3 prize cards, we do get to follow up and draw 2 prize cards. It's hard to knock out a Zard, everyone. And they lost their big attacker. So let's see what we can get with this Mew. Mew has free retreat here with the Beach Court. So let's utilize the situation. Beach Court and Tina is kind of weird. And normally I'm worried about Path a little bit more, but let's go for Mysterious Tail. We don't need to put down Rod in this matchup yet. Do I care about Battle VIP Pass? No, I think I care. I don't think I care about Rare Candy either. I think I grab Lost Vacuum. Kind of a weird situation. Like, our hand sucks. But the thing is, it's kind of like when you're playing Arctura, your hand could suck, but you're still playing Zard. And that's really where I think it's very good. I don't want to attach another energy for my turn. I just want to take the knockout. And we're swinging for 270, so whatever our opponent pretty much puts out, they are getting knocked out. Let's draw our 2 prize cards and see what we get here. Collapsed and Choice Belt, not really what we're looking for, to be honest, but the Choice Belt could knock out a Tina V-Star. Honestly, at this point, I'd like to go boss on Tina V to try to knock out those. They're not putting that down there. They are getting all set up here, ready to go with their Sableye game plan. If they play Echoing Horn, like, they might just be able to take advantage of this game. Otherwise, I would very much like to just start using Radiant Tsareena because it's just a worse Lost Zone box deck at this point. So we'll see how however our opponent's playing. Like, they've gone through a lot of resources. One thing that people ask me is, like, Zach, why don't you like Lost City in this deck? What would Lost City do in this situation if I just rip the Sableye? Like, their discard pile is almost the exact same. And if I think they're just gonna have to split between the Mew and the Zard. I still have 270 HP. Like, I'm big chillin' here. Like, I'm super cool with however this turns out. Now, like, we're pretty much just forced into attacking here. Like, there's nothing else we can do for our turn, as far as I could tell. So let's just go ahead here and Burning Darkness our opponent. I'd like to play an Iono. I'd like to do a lot of things. I can only play towards whatever I have, but they are running out of these attackers. And as we draw through our prize cards, like, I'd like to be able to get an access to Lumineon so I could at least bring up another Tina if they get there. If they get out of Tina this turn, we might be in trouble. But sometimes you could just kind of solo with Zard. We've drawn 3 prize cards. There's another Sableye. If they're just hitting for 12, really, what's going to happen? And there's a certain point where I'm like, okay, cool. We can get something back. We can do this. We can do that. Right now, we're kind of chilling. Like, yeah, you can knock out my Charizard, but you're doing 12, and I'm getting a knockout. Like, they have to do a lot of stuff to knock out this this Zard, and I'm weak to grass, so unless they got out a Shaman, I think we're chilling. At least we know they're playing Water Energy now, but we're fine. That's still fine. Like, there is a world where I could outpace my opponent here. Nest Ball's kind of cute, because Nest Ball could get out of Radiant Tsareena and start reducing their damage. We do have Escape Rope. We could get Mew back, because at least Mew gets us opportunities to maybe get, like, Lumineon. However, I don't want them to start knocking things out. So what I want to go for here is I'm going to go Nest Ball for the Rad Tsareena so that we are able to start healing our Pokemon. I'm going to put a Fire Energy onto the Rad Tsareena. Not because I want to attack with it, but because I want to potentially retreat it. Like, we're down to basically just Zard going forward. This does prevent them from maybe getting a knockout on one of my Pokemon. With, like, a Tina V and a Mirage Gate or something like that. Like, we are running it really close to losing this game. But this does show a really good opportunity on how we are able to survive with with just a Charizard EX for a large portion of the game. Like, yeah, our opponent ran hot to knock us out. We're running back. And if they put a Tina V down, we're knocking it out. If they don't, then there's a good chance that we might have a chance to win here. Like, I'm not trying to, like, say that it's going perfect here. Normally I like to get out a couple Charizards and I could retreat and maybe Collapsed Stadium one of them. But so far things are looking okay. They're also really running out of energies, which tells me they're not attacking with whatever's going on. You want to know what? This is probably looking a little bad. Because they're going to put 12 there. Yeah. So we're in a bit of a predicament here. Let's look through alternative win cons here. Is there a way? Well, that doesn't set us up. We're gonna heal no matter what, and that puts us at 70 HP remaining. Now they've gone through 2 energies, 3 energies, 4 energies, 12 energies. So I have to hope that they just don't have the energies left. They've also gone through 3 switch, 3 escape ropes, 4 escape rope, 4 switch. So what I'm going to do here is we're gonna go for an interesting play. And when I say interesting, that doesn't necessarily mean correct. I'm going to go boss, bring up a Comfey, and I'm not going to attack it. I don't care. Like, if I retreat, they can get us with Sableye. So it doesn't matter because our ability is only by damage, not damage counters. They are different things. I'm just going to pass here. If they have an energy, they have it. If not, then I'm going to Radiant Tsareena and try to deck them out or heal or something. There's their beach court. So they had a lot of things. This matchup's tough. They were able to aggressively get to our Pokemon. Radiant Tsareena is typically not for the Tina matchup, but it is what it is. And yeah, there's their last two prize cards. We're just going to get knocked out there. Like I said, it is what it is. We'll try one more game here. So our opponent won the coin flip. That's fine. We're okay going second because we have a lot of single prize card Pokemon like that our opponent can knock out. That builds up the damage for Burning Darkness. Hopefully we can get a solid hand here. Anytime I see a Battle VIP Pass, I'm like, yo, let's go. Hopefully that's just mixed with Pokemon. Now, our start here is not fantastic. I will put that out there. I would like to start with Pidgeot V more than Manaphy because Pidgeot, at least you could retreat and Vanishing Wings it away. It's also a card that I'm quite often looking for on the first turn. We're playing against a Gardevoir deck, so this is fine. Again, another tough matchup. This is not an unfavorable matchup, nor is it a favorable matchup. I think like Charizard, big Charizard can always be good. We have a lot of cards here. Let's see whatever our opponent flips up. When it comes to something like Nest Ball this turn, we probably have to go for a Mew to grab a Battle VIP Pass, to grab a Charmander or Charmander Pidgeot. It really depends on what we're top decking here. I'd also, like, if we get an Ultra Ball, that allows us to get out a Lumineon, so we can go Lumineon, search for Arven, search for Battle VIP Pass, search for Forest Seal Stone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have opportunities to search things through. Now, when your opponent's going first with Gardevoir and they're getting out double Battle VIP Pass, getting out all their routes, all their stuff, it's probably not the best game for us. Especially when we're looking at a hand with one Nest Ball, we don't know if our Mew's prized, and we could miss the Battle VIP Pass. So overall, it's looking really good for our opponent, but it does show us how we can set this game up. Charizard, again, is not the best deck in format, in my opinion. It's within the top 5 best decks in formats. I currently have it 5th, and we'll see that in our video tomorrow if you look at the top 10 best decks. I do think it's a solid call for Lil. However, I think it's not always the best place deck. Man, if our opponent would just let us borrow a Battle VIP Pass, that would be sick. We'll see. I just actually finished writing an article about Charizard Arven. So if you haven't got a chance to check out our Patreon, check out patreon.com/TSSWin, and you can always check out our articles, our deck lists, all that stuff. Let's see what we top deck. Come on, let's get something good. Pidgeot EX is not bad, but we are going to go Nest Ball here. And if we have Mew, we're going to try for Mew to try to get a Battle VIP Pass, or just try to get a better start. Like, we can't search for Lumineon, and I don't want to just search for Pidgey because that doesn't really allow us to attack. So let's go ahead, retreat here. We don't need to put Manaphy in play. And okay, didn't look like I could retreat there for whatever reason. Let's use Mysterious Tail, Nest Ball, Battle VIP Pass, Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball does get us the Arven, so I will cheers to that. Let's Ultra Ball. We don't need Vacuum in this matchup really, because they don't really play Path. They don't really play Tools. So let's go there. Let's search for Lumineon. And, like, yeah, this is a scuffed start, everyone. I do want to point that out there, that it's not looking the hottest, but we will go for Arven. And you can see, like, you can set up the deck in ways that you might not have thought. Like, this hand sucked, and I turned it into a hand that did not suck. I'm not a god or nothing, but we were able to do that. Now, based off our opponent's 1 energy in their discard pile, I don't think they're going to be able to bring up a Charmander. So they're going to get a Charmander and a Pidgey. We're going to put the Forest Seal Stone onto our... I think we're going to put Forest Seal Stone onto the Lumineon. And I'm going to leave everything as is. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to draw into Pidgeot next turn. So let's go ahead and pass here. Pidgeot's quite often a placeholder space, and you could play Collapsed Stadium beforehand, discarding 2 cards, or discarding a card and then putting the Pidgeot away to kind of take away 2 cards from play that are worth 2 prize cards. Next turn, we're going to be able to go Rare Candy Pidgeot, Rare Candy Charizard, and maybe do something with Mew or attack into our opponent's active Pokemon. Again, if our opponent's able to knock out our Charmander, like, that really sucks for us. There's nothing that we could do. We'd rather send up Pidgeot. We'd rather send up Lumineon. Like, we'll see how things go. The Iono up here active, that kind of sucks too, but maybe we'll get a better hand. We just need a rare candy something. There's a rare candy Zard, and we have Path, and we have Artazon. So you can see that, like, we have some outs to, like, what would be, I don't know. It just seems good. Like, our hand seems much better than what it was before. If we can get a Pidgeot, then we can kind of tutor into multiple cards. And that's really what we're trying to do with Quick Search. So, again, they played Iono. They're not playing Boss. If worse comes to worse, our Mew is getting attacked into. Or they're just going to attack us with their Mew. That's literally it. And it's hard to knock out a Charizard EX. And I really want to get out Quick Search Pidgeot this turn if possible. I mean, we get it with Arven if we're not playing Boss. So if worse comes to worse, if we don't get it off Mew, then we're big chillin'. We also have 4 Seal Stones, so we could go Rare Candy. You want to know what? We get it off 4 Seal Stone, but let's see if we can get it off Mew. We are going to go Artazon first because we do have Rare Candies at the bottom of our deck that are currently just chilling there. We want to shuffle those, and hopefully they end towards the top 6 cards of our deck with Mysterious Tail. Again, a lot of really cool things that you could do with this deck, especially if you know what's going on in all capacities. So we really like start thinking outside of the box when it comes down to it. We can have a really strong turn when it comes down to it. Our opponent's having a fantastic game, by the way, though. I do want to point that out, that, like, turn 2, Gardevoir, Curlia, like, they are big vibing, and they are getting a lot of energies in the discard pile. And this is where Vengeful Punch could be good. We'd have to see how it plays off otherwise. But we want to force our opponent into knocking out our Triple Zard. That's really what we're looking for. They can't evolve, so that means we're big chillin'. Let's go ahead here and go for Artazon. We're going to Artazon for another Charmander because Charmander is going to be our MVP. We want to go for this Charmander because we could attack with Ember. So keep that in mind. We're going to Rare Candy. I think what we want to do here is if we go Rare Candy into Zard, and we can grab another card there, we have a higher chance of getting it. So let's go Rare Candy Zard right away. Because we want to grab out some fire energies that we have in the deck. 1, 2, 3. We know that we prized at least 1 fire energy. So let's go. Mew goes there because we're going to have to retreat the Mew. And we can always get the other piece with that. So let's see if we can get Rare Candy here to grab a Pidgeot. Boom. This deck is like Magic sometimes. So let's go ahead and for a Seal Stone, Star Alchemy. For a Pidgeot. And we're going to go ahead and go Rare Candy into our Pidgeot. We're going to say goodbye to our Pidgeot V because it's the easiest Pokemon in play for our opponent to knock out. And let's go ahead and go for Quick Search for a boss to maybe knock out their Gardevoir with Chilling Reign. I think that would be a pretty good one. Because we have 3 boss, let's just go into it. How many stadiums have they gone through? 1 stadium. So I'll try to keep the path towards the late game. But next turn we even have Arven, Rare Candy, and we have Quick Search Pidgeot. So we have ways to start attacking into these Pokemon. So even if this game doesn't go well, we recovered from a very bad start as much as possible, and we're kind of big chilling here. So let's attack into the Gardevoir. We don't need to put down our Radiant Tsareena. Again, it's really not for this matchup. Identifying which cards are for each matchup is going to be huge. But right now, yeah, we're chilling. They're just going to send up their Mew, and yeah, we're chilling. So you might be like, how are they going to get the knockout on Charizard? It has 330 HP. That is insane. They can attach 6 energies to their active, which gives them 6 times 3 is 180 plus 240. So is their base damage 60 plus 180, 240. If they play down a reversal energy after that, that's what gets to the knockouts. So they have reversal energy, and if they have Gardevoir EX, and if they have... there's a lot of things that they need, you know what I'm saying? Let's see if they get there. And that's really what I'm hoping to find out, is if they get there or not. They do have a lot of cards in hand, so I don't see how they would not get there. They could also attack with Zacian. Zacian just requires 9 energies. 9, 18, 27, plus 60 is 330. So there's step 1. They could also do some Shining Arcana goodness. It's just one of the reasons why we cut Vengeful Punch from this deck. Don't know why they attached that Kirlia, but that's interesting. If our Charizard draws a couple prize cards, that's kind of cool. Like, again, we are turn 2 attacking with Charizard. Like, I would love to attack through their Gardevoirs and force them to at least find a superior energy retrieve, or a Super Rod. But we'll see how the gameplay plays out. I love how this Charizard looks, though. This Charizard looks so cool. It's crazy that there's, like, I think 5 different Charizards, because there's also, like, a promo version of this, if that's come out. I could be, like, going crazy, but there's a regular one, the full art kind of one, the gold full art, this alt art, and then there's also, I think, a promo full art, which is 5 Charizard EX that are all the same. So we love it. The fact that they're discarding their other Artazon is fantastic, so that we might be able to path lock them. Not sure if they play Worker or not. They haven't played it. Some lists do, some lists don't. Some lists run Temple, some lists don't. Some lists run Collapse, some lists don't. Like, typically they play 3 path bumps and a vacuum, so 4 path bumps. So there's their routes. We could Escape Rope out of this if they do go for Memory Skip, for what it's worth. They might just get a knockout here. We'll see how that plays out. Really trying to get around those if possible. There's our 20. Let's see what they decide to do here. If we could just knock out their Gardevoir and draw 3 prize cards with this Charizard EX, that'd be really cool. The fact that they're attacking with the Shining Arcana one, they're probably going to slap the reversal down from their hands. I don't see a reason why not to. This might be a good case for us to get the knockout with a single prize card Pokemon like that Charmander. So a lot of people are like, yo, why is the Charmander very good? This is why Charmander is very good. But we will we'll play through that. We can also get the knockout with Charmeleon. That might be easier for what it's worth. Because we can grab the Artazon, we can grab an energy. I think what I want to do is probably play Iono Path. It really depends on what we top deck out of this situation, because it really just depends on what we top deck out of this situation. So they're at 100. Nope, they're doing their math wrong here. 5, 8. Oh, okay, they're gonna knock out the Pidgeots. Interesting choice. In this case, them knocking out the Pidgeot's fine, because we would like to path lock them anyways. I don't want to go forward with the Mew. However, yeah, I think we go forward with the Charizard, and I'd like to get Iono out here. I don't think we're going to get out Iono. I think what we're able to do is get out a Charizard, or a Charmeleon, to kind of back things up here a little bit. So let's go ahead and send up Zard, because I don't see us getting a knockout any other way. If we could top deck Iono, that'd be sick. Did not top deck Iono. We're going to get out Artazon to grab another Charmander. That's fine. I'm going to go Arven. And let's go for Ultra Ball, and we're going to grab a tool just so we can grab another card out of our deck. When it comes down to it, we don't need our Radiant Tsareena. And let's go Ultra Ball away, Battle VIP Pass, and Tsareena. Let's go for Charmeleon. Just so people are like, why don't you play 4 Charizard? It's just so we can have a higher chance of getting out of this. Let's go Charmeleon, let's go Pidgey, and let's go ahead and go Burning Darkness for the knockouts. It's a little bit of an overkill, and you might be like, yo, Zach, you could play Path Down. I don't want our opponents with their 12-card hand to just bump Path. I'd like to maybe next turn go ahead, and I hope that they don't get the knockout for 1, because it's going to be hard for them to get the knockout. For 2, I hope that we can get an Iono, or that we can get a Rare Candy Pidgeot or something. The Forest Seal Stone does not help us here. So, like, our draws are suboptimal this game. I just hope that we have an opportunity to get out of this situation. And that's really all it is. I just hope that we have an opportunity to get out of this situation. And we might be able to top deck into it. We might not be able to top deck into it. Like, let's just see how it goes. We'll find a way for it to play out. So our opponent needs to find their one Gardevoir left in order to attack, because most of us just play 2 Chilling Reign Gardevoirs, and they're going through a lot of resources in their deck. Like, we might just be able to get them with Path for what it's worth. Like, this is another thing. They could have maybe got their Lost Vacuum off their Mew if they played it. We're trying to play Path on our last turn of the game, because that might just win us the game. And we'll see how they play through this situation. There's their Rare Candy into another Gardevoir. Okay, interesting. You can see they still have a lot of opportunities to just draw cards here. We also don't need to worry about memory skip as much. So they need to go for the same. They need to get a reversal energy and slap on 6 energies, and that would be their last reversal kind of knockout of the game. They still have Zacian that they could do that with, but again, like, we'll just see however our opponent goes with this. There's their PAL pads. Maybe they're going to grab a boss back, because this Lumineon is probably their biggest target when it comes down to it. They have opportunities with Mysterious Tail and Refinement and Shining Arcana to basically draw whatever they want. If they're not going to Lumineon, at least we have the Zard here to do cool stuff with. That'd be fun. I'd be, like, semi-okay with that. I'd like to play a Collapsed Stadium, but, like, this game's just not letting us. And sometimes you're going to be in these situations where Zard just goes on Zard mode. Like, there's not too many lines of plays that you can make, because you can only deal with the situation that you have. If your opponent knocks out your Pidgeot, you don't have ways to search through your deck every single turn. So as long as this deck's set up, we're definitely alive in this game. We have a lot of cool stuff that we could potentially do. Even next turn, we could use Arven to get out another Charizard in case they knock out our active, attack with Ember. Like, we have options. It just really depends on how our options play out. I'm really hoping Path allows us to have a chance in this matchup. As you can see, Lost City probably wouldn't have not done too much. We could have maybe Lost City'd both Gardevoirs, but there's only so much that you could really do when it comes down to it. Like, I just can't be like, I have Lost City in my hand all the time. Like, you could quick search for it, but you're quite often looking for other pieces. So one of the reasons why I don't like Lost City is because I don't think it necessarily is that good. There's our opponent drawing through majority of their deck. I'm assuming that our Lumineon's getting bossed up here so that they can just get an easy knockout on a Charizard EX with a Zacian. There's an energy there. Cool. There's a lot of stuff. They still have a Shining Arcana for what it's worth. But we're still just waiting on whatever could be whatever. 4, 8, 10. They put another one, then we're probably getting knocked out with the reversal. Oh, maybe we're not getting knocked out with reversal. That is 1, 2, 3, 5, 150, 210. That's enough to knock out Lumineon, but it is adding too many energies onto their Gardevoir, which does mean we could attack with Charmander if they don't necessarily, or we could attack with Charmander here using Ember, which could be quite good. So I'm assuming we're going to play boss onto Lumineon. I do have a huge hunch on that. Hopefully our opponent bumps Artazon, just hoping that we don't have it in some capacity, or I'm not sure that why they're playing their Ultra Ball. Maybe they're going to Ultra Ball for Lumineon for a boss. Okay, they just grab another Gardevoir. This means that they don't have any other ones in play. It's kind of interesting the way that they're playing it. Yeah, there's that going to be for the Lumineon to put them at 2 prize cards remaining. Since we can just grab Ultra Ball, I'm going to go ahead and grab Ultra Ball onto Charmeleon to evolve it and attack with Charmander, which requires them to find another boss. So yeah, we're going to use Ember here, and that's going to be the play. So let's use Arven, search our deck for Ultra Ball, Just making sure that we have enough. We have 3 energies left, which we also have a Super Rod. So let's go ahead. I mean, again, our back's against the wall. It is what it is. Let's use Artazon before we have anything else. There's nothing that we can grab. Let's use Ultra Ball to discard Forest Steel Stone and Battle VIP Pass. So you can see strategically we've been able to go through our deck. Let's grab Charizard because there's no way for us to get out the Pidgeots. Let's evolve Charizard. And we'll put an energy on Charizard and 2 on Charmander. So 1, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and put Path down so our opponent just can't get the game with Zacian automatically. And I'm going to hold on to Choice Belt in case we could have another Ultra Ball. We do play 4 Ultra Balls, so I do like having opportunities. And we're going to use Ember to put ourselves down to 3 prize cards. Again, I'm putting Path down this turn because I think our opponent might have Zacian Boss. And again, we're not drawing well off our prize cards. We're not drawing super well in general. And our opponent went first with Gardevoir, which already can be a tough matchup. And a few other things, but it is what it is. And it's showing how cool this matchup can be. And this shows dynamics that you might not have necessarily seen before, using Ember, or even being able to evolve into a Charmeleon, into a Charizard. Combustion can also be an attack too if they had to over-attach energies with Arcana to put them down to only 2 damage counters. We could use Combustion, we could use Fire Blast. Like, I try to use this deck to its most, probably why I'm seeing some of the best results with Charizard when it comes to playing the deck in real life. Like, if they just knock us out, we can knock out their with a Charizard EX and maybe Iono them to 1 under Path. Like, they might not have it because I think they might have 1 Psychic Energy left. Gardevoir lists have been changing their energies, but Zinnia's does draw them out of all the cards in their deck. So they are going to deck out here, forced to play a Super Rod at least after this. And they're not playing Boss, which means they're not knocking out a Charizard EX on my bench this turn. So if they don't play a Super Rod, they lose the game. So if Super Rod's just prized, they've lost. Okay, so they do have Super Rod. Our opponent's it's looking pretty good, and they've only played 1 boss. They probably play 2 boss, like most other lists. So things are probably looking a little bit bad for us, but if they're forced to attack us with a Gardevoir, they're forced to attack us with a Gardevoir. We still have Charizard, so we brought it down to 1 prize card, losing the game by 1 turn, and that's if our opponent wins the game. So we do want to keep that in mind. There's their Zacian. Interesting choice to put the Zacian down early. I mean, I guess they get the game no matter what. They actually just don't even need Zacian to win the game. It's an interesting choice there. So there's their Miracle Force, and I'm going to send up Charizard. We're doing max damage with Charizard. I'm not sending up Mew because we've used all of our energies in our deck. Top decking Iono here would be fantastic. I'm pretty sure we just lose this game unless our opponent's last prize card is literally Boss. So we're going to attack. There's no point of putting another single prize card Pokemon in play. There's no point of putting Choice Belt on play. We're going to attack for Burning Darkness. This would have been a great turn to use Iono. Not that it would have mattered because they could just send up Zacian. I'm pretty sure we just lose the game no matter what. Like, our opponent has 9 energies in their discard pile. Unfortunately, we didn't get a boss there. Unfortunately, we didn't get... You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole bunch of unfortunate things, but we were able to showcase how this deck can work in different ways. And maybe they're going to get the knockout with Cresselia and try to play cool or whatever. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that our opponent could have done. And I might have been overthinking or underthinking. At the end of the day, we didn't get the exact strategy that we wanted to. And we hit a couple tough matchups when it came to playing this deck. But I think we played a couple really good games of Pokemon. And whether you win or lose with a deck doesn't necessarily mean a deck is bad. A deck is not well positioned against the PTCG Live ladder. And that's something to consider when it comes to playing. It could be considered a lot better against the global metagame or regional circuit or online metagame or your local tournaments. Like, playing two separate one-of games is not necessarily going to make for a great video, not necessarily meant for some great gameplay or some winning gameplay, but I think we got two great games out of this video, so hopefully you enjoyed me going into it a little bit more, and that we actually got to this point in the video, which is probably close to an hour in. So if you watched all the way to this point where you watched my Charizard getting knocked out, you'll love to see it, but let me know in the comments below. You're a real one. Thank you so much for watching. Let me close things out here. That's what we got going on for this video today. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about Arven. I think this deck is really good. The list is very good. And I mean, if you want to make any changes, you can also check out the decks that I've seen. Check me out on Twitter, Zach Lesage, PTCG, or Z Lesage PTCG. I think it's Zach Lesage. But either way, check it out because I have those two finishes at Peoria and Sacramento with the deck. You can see where I've kind of gone along and to see like kind of where the outline or I kind of like the fences of the deck is. That being said, if you haven't already, pick up some sealed singles and some PTCGL codes from our sponsors Atlas Collectibles, Deckout Gaming, and PTCGO store. So you can definitely pick up some stuff there. All of the discounts are available in the description. Use Ultimate Guard sleeves and sell your bulk on tcgbulk.com. I really appreciate all y'all watching this video. If you haven't already, give this video a like, thumbs up, really does help out a lot. Subscribe to the channel, let us know in the comments what video you want to see next, and we'll catch up with all y'all real soon. Peace out and have a great one. Hey trainers, tired of having too many cards lying around? I know that feeling, and I know what a hassle it is to try and sell those cards. But selling bulk is now easier than ever with TCG Bulk. Find tons of potential buyers in a single place. You just download the app, look for the best buyer near you, and carefully pack your bulk, ship it, and you get paid. It really is that simple. Turn the cards you don't want into the cards you absolutely need for your next deck. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.